Good afternoon, everyone. David speaking. It's a little bit later than my normal time to do these. It's 25 to 7 here in the UK. That'd be 25 to 2 in New York City, and we've got the S&P pushing on that 4,000 level, up 6 points on the day. As you can see, the advance is slightly ahead of that of the declines, and all the measures of the trend on VectorVest are up. So if I think I've got a chart of the S&P open here, and that's the S&P. This is the last pullback. I put on two moving averages, the moving averages that I rarely put onto a chart because I've been looking at the darn things for so long that I can see where they are, but I've got them on today. That's 21 exponential and 55 exponential, and markets like to come back and find support between the 21 and the 55. Sometimes they use the 21, as you can see here. So since this last pullback, folks, this market has been moving up. I'm not going to do an Elliott count or anything for you, but all I know is that since this last major pullback, we are pushing up towards that 1.618 extension of this, and that this market looks to be extended. It's going to take major news to push it a little bit further. If I do the expansion correctly, the target is at 3425, and I think it's going to take news, good news, that would be stimulus news to get it through this level. But then we could see a little bit of a pullback. First support level would be at that 21, as you can see, and the second support level would be probably at that old high, which is in between the 21 and the 50. So a market that's extended, it really needs a pullback. Nevertheless, there's probably more upside. I've done a little bit since the last time I spoke in the American market, and if I go to viewers, holding Horton, I bought into eBay. I'll show you the chart in a second. I'm holding Square, well in the money in Square, well in the money in Lulu. I bought Autodesk, and not in the money there yet. I bought Pins, not in the money yet. Microsoft, well in the money. Coop, well in the money. TTD, a long way into the money. So the first share that I want to look at is MSCI. Now, MSCI was brought to my attention by a VectorVest customer in North London, and she in fact likes the share, and it's really gratifying that when you've been teaching this stuff that people in fact find opportunity and email me about the opportunity. So if I look at the share, this is what attracted to me the share as soon as I saw the share. First of all, earnings per share is rising here, and the earnings per share is rising, always a good sign. That's the engine that drives the share price. The 21's above the 55, and the market has pulled back twice into that level. Now, clearly there's a very important level here at 350, and I like that straight away when I looked at the chart, because that 350 level, apart from this little bit of upside, this small little bit of upside here, this resistance has become support. That's good. Now, that's my first measure. The second measure that I liked was that if I draw a trend line along these, we get this confluence, folks, of the old high and the trend line. Really good. Really very cool, coming together at that point. And then, if I put on fib, my old friend, from that low to that high, that's a 50% retracement of that level. And I felt that everything was just coming together there, and I felt that that's where the smartest orders would be. It could have slipped to 618, and then when I put on the stochastic, I see that the stochastic is well down in a buy area, and that it's showing reverse divergence. The price has made a rising bottom, the indicators made a falling bottom, and that's a really good signal as it came up through 20. So we had a stochastic buy signal preceded by this divergence, a very strong signal indeed. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen next. The market cannot be predicted on a trade-by-trade basis, but nevertheless, if I keep doing what I've just showed you, then I get very lucky indeed, assuming the general market can keep running. 70% of the exercise is the general market, and 70% of your attention should be in fact looking at the general market, which doesn't take long, certainly not on a product like VectorVest. It doesn't take long at all. So this thing is moving quite nicely, and I'm going to just get rid of all the charts now and just have a look at the price, get rid of the stochastic, and it's moving up quite nicely indeed. I did a course with George Lane, the founder, the guy who put together the stochastics a lifetime ago, way back in, oh dear, I'm dating myself now, 1986 I think it was. It was my first course in share trading out of South Africa. I was living in South Africa at the time, and George would have been a buyer here at 360, whatever it closed at there. He used a stochastic less than 20 preceded by reverse divergence and a trend line break as his signal, and I'm reasonably well into the money in that. I got in a little bit earlier than that last Friday, so it needs to go a bit further. Who knows what's going to happen next, but the probabilities are good, so let's see. Some of the other shares that I bought, I liked Autodesk, and if I have a look at Autodesk, maybe there is the share. It's been going sideways. Again, it's showing good relative strength to the market, and by that I mean that the overall market's about here, and this is in fact well above the February-March sell-off, so it's outperforming the market. One of my favorite setups is a market that goes sideways into the zone, and those of you that know my work will know that I actually like to buy at these lows, and I'm into the share from somewhere down around here, and it needs to break up a little bit. I'm quite close there to getting, I'm making nearly as much as I in fact have risked. So let's see how it goes. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but I'm throwing the dice and taking the trade. So that's some opportunity. And Pinterest is another one. Pinterest, that's what the share has done. It broke up here, this huge gap on earnings, and those of you that know my work will see the spring which actually predicted that. I didn't get in there. I got in after this outside day here, which was another little spring here, and it is moving. I don't like this tail on the candle today, so I need to be careful in that. I think that if the general market moves, it'll move with it. So that's what I've been up to. I just wanted to show you that outstanding setup on MSCI, that confluence of a resistance becoming support, a trend line, and Fibonacci. I use that in all markets right down to a 5-minute chart. Any of you that trade Forex, you'll find that that setup, that putting together a confluence of support and resistance with those three techniques works exceptionally well on a 4-hour chart in the Forex market. Okay, so some new positions, and if we go back to the home page of VectorVest at 6:45, the S&P at 3397, pushing on that incredibly big number. As I said at the outset, we're a little overbought in this particular swing. One of my mentors, a chap in the City of London years ago, always used to say that when the market has moved to 1.618 of the last swing, it's time to wear a hard hat. So I'm hoping with these 3 new buys that this can keep going. Time will tell. I'll be watching stop losses very carefully indeed. So I hope you found this useful. Fairly simple trading techniques. I think that when you look at a chart, folks, one of the most important things that you can say to yourself is, where are the orders? And that confluence of those three techniques will show you fairly quickly and easily where the smartest money is sitting. I hope you found this useful. Thanks very much indeed.